Welcome back to the YouTube channel. 3 days out from WMBF First Timers Men's Classic Physique Show. Fucking buzzing for this, and you've caught me on the way to the mecca of broken equipment, as I always say, Pure Gym, and we are going in for my first pump session of prep. Last 2 sessions have been just normal training sessions where I've been training it to as close to failure as I can, but obviously not taking those 50-50 reps. Today we are specifically leaving some reps in the tank. We're literally going in there to push as much of these carbs around as possible. Yesterday I ran 550 grams of carbs. The day before I ran 375, and weight has kind of come up a little bit. So after the first refeed, my weight actually went down by 0.2. And then after the second refeed, the 500 grams of carbs, it went up by another 0.2. So we're running 550 grams of carbs today. I've had my pre-workout meal a good hour before I trained. So I had 212 grams of rice, 30 grams of dates. And I know what you think, that's a bit of a weird combination, but actually it was pretty good. A bit chewy, nice sweet rice with some mixed vegetables, 100 grams of mixed veg, 150 grams of raw chicken, seasoned with peri-peri, and obviously topped with a bit of pink Himalayan salt. I washed down with a can of Ghost sour warheads, which is actually pretty good, but it is not a can of Monster. As you know, Green Original Monster is the best. So I'm going to take you through as much as the session today. Today's session is actually sponsored by Lemon Sherbet Candy Kittens. So if I go into Pure Gym and my veins and everything is vascular as hell, and I get kicked out, it's not Void Rage, it's fucking Candy Kitten Rage. Well, here we are then. First exercise of pump session, cable press. Now when it comes to your pump sessions, you're not training to failure. You're leaving a couple of reps in the tank, and nothing really needs to change. You can stick the same intensity, the same weight through. You're just leaving a couple of reps in the tank. So normally on my push days, I have a cable press. So I've just done my warm-up set, 19.5 kilos. And I'm now gonna go to my top set, 2 sets on here, and again, leaving 1 to 2 reps in the tank, really just focusing on that pause in that short range, because that's where you're flushing that blood into that muscle. You're gonna flush the carbs into that muscle, and it's gonna store in there nicely. But when I'm then doing my posing routine and things later on, we wanna bring out as much as of that physique as possible to see where those carbs are moving around. So that when it comes to show day, we know that this is what we need to do for my pump up and things like that. So I'm gonna get cracking into my first set now. An adequate pump in the gym, and your pump sessions, keep them short and sharp. Circuit style training, so I'm doing 2 exercises for chest, 2 back, 1 shoulders and arms as well. So I'm starting off with the cable, then a cable fly, lat pull down, chest supported row, rear fly, cuff fly, bicep, tricep, done. In and out within sort of 45 minutes. Keeping my fluids up, you need body heat, sodium, sugar for a savage pump. Moving in to my cable fly now, after doing my second set of cable presses. When it comes to your exercise selection, stick with the same exercise you've been doing the whole prep. What I would tend to do is pair them together. So if you've got a cable press, which is a converging press, you're taxing more of that length and range into that short range a little bit more than you would on a dumbbell. And then do something like a cable fly where it's maybe a bit more of a higher rep set, so you're not only just getting a little bit more of the intense base training, but you're also getting a bit more of that volume pump work at the end. So I've got this, had the cable press, then I'm going into cable fly. Then when I do my lat work, I've got a lat pull down and a chest supported row. Chest supported row will probably be heavier than my lat pull down, but you're getting a variety of rep ranges in there, still leaving some reps in the tank to make sure you're not fatiguing yourself. You're not here to cause muscle damage at the end of the day. You're here to push around those carbohydrates, get your glycogen stores nice and full, so you have a savage pump, and you can see the fruits of your labours of all your hard work in your diet and in your gaining phases as well. So let me jump into this next set and I'll take you through my lat pull downs and how I set them up. Chest down, abs contracted is my current setup for my lat pull downs, and the reason being is the lats wrap around the rib cage, and we naturally should have a slight kyphotic spine. So by having my chest drop down in a neutral position, I can get an adequate stability through my core by contracting it, keeping my ribs
and hips locked down tight, and getting a little bit of elevation through the shoulders on the way up to get that extra stretch on the lats. Now with this setup as well, like the cable handles actually converge inwards. So I'm also bringing my arms across my body at the top to get an even more of a stretch at the top, focusing on depressing the shoulders down with the elbows to get an adequate contraction at my lats. Have a play around with the setup yourself. Like sometimes people prefer a more chest elevated, but I always find it shifts towards my upper back. Likewise, in my upper back row, this is where I will actually arch my back or keep my chest up because it's gonna align the cable with my upper back fibers.
So when it comes to getting a pump in the gym, especially in peak week, keep your rest periods short, because by keeping your rest periods short, you're increasing that blood flow into that muscle, which is going to push more of those carbohydrates, glycogen, into the muscle cell itself, so that it stores in there and it gives that illusion that it looks bigger than it actually is. For me, that's not difficult because I've got small delts. But normally I take 2 minutes rest on these. I'm only taking about a minute to a 30 seconds rest, 45 seconds rest, just so I can get in and out the gym. So I've got a long ass travel day to Luton, and also just get a fucking savage pump out of it too. Well, it is safe to say that those candy kittens went straight to the biceps and the delts. I think I probably left a little bit too long rest between my chest presses and the cable flies, but I wasn't supersetting those, whereas I finished the session off with incline cable curls, single arm tricep extension, and a rear delt fly in a little circuit fashion. And if you are going into a pump session, to keep your body heat up, like I said earlier about the rest periods, you could do a circuit or a tricep. As long as the gym's not busy, like use one piece of equipment and circuit it. So you do like 2 sets or 3 sets. Again, leaving your reps in the tank if that's what you've got for that session. But do a circuit style because like I said earlier as well, like to get a pump, you need sodium, body heat and sugar, carbohydrates. They're the 3 kind of things you need to have that adequate pump in the gym. So I'm now tugging into my post-workout, which is a hefty amount of cream of rice today. 150 grams cream of rice, 60 grams of blueberries, 60 grams of raspberries, 10 grams of dark chocolate, some pink Himalayan salt to replace some of the salts I've lost during that session, and also a shit ton of cinnamon and 15 grams of honey. So a lot of carbs going in. This is definitely going to help me sleep in the car on the way to Luton, which is fantastic because I need to rest and recover for show day to bring my very, very best physique. So I'm going to tuck into this now. Again, I need to stop fucking saying that. Gonna tuck into this now. I'm gonna come up with a new catchphrase. And then I've got to make some peanut butter chicken bagels, one of my favorite things for the car, and I'm gonna spread those out. But when it comes to your like car journeys to shows and things like that, obviously this is my first one. But what my strategy is I'm kind of front loading a lot of my carbs at the start of the day. So a lot of my meals are over 120 grams of carbs per meal. So I've had over 100 in my pre-workout. I've had 100 in my candy kittens and I've had over 100 in this one. And I've got my bagels and then I've got some tuna when I get back to the hotel in Luton. So I'll go to the shop or I'll take my own rice with me with my rice cooker and I'm front loading that so that you're not kind of like getting to the hotel after a really long day of traveling and you've got a ton of food to get in because that would not be good for your digestion, especially if you've got something like a stage pre-tan booked the following day after. You don't want to kind of looking bloated for that, right? It's a special day, you've worked hard for it. you want to kind of go in and make sure everything is smooth sailing. So time your meals efficiently. So I had my first one at 7, an hour before training at 8. Then I had another, this would be my next one now. So the time is now 10 o'clock. So exactly 2 hours later. And then I'll probably wait a bit longer to have my bagels in the car because it is 5 hours. But equally, there's chicken in that and I don't want that going off. So I'll probably wait 2 or 3 hours then. And then I'll probably have a longer delay until my tuna meal, but it's the smallest meal of the day because I've had a lot of my calories at the start. Here we are then, halfway through our trip. Peanut butter bagels with chicken are out. We have 20 grams of honey across 2 bagels, 150 grams of raw chicken across 2 bagels, 30 grams of spinach across both bagels, and 30 grams of the good old peanut butter. Absolutely next level, and I would definitely, like I said in every vlog so far, adding these in my gaining phase. But we were having a discussion earlier on the way down. We're like 2 hours into our 5-hour journey. What is the best service station? Now we say at Gloucester, there's nothing that compares to Gloucester. Like the coffee there is really good. The farm shop's really good.
The sausage rolls, man.
Sausage rolls.
Fuck.
Dave's a big sausage roll fan. Yeah, bacon cheese turnovers. I'm more of a steak bake person, me personally. If I get one from Greg's whenever I ever go into Greg's, I don't fucking have any anyway. It's always some charred cold pizza, which is not so great. But we're just about to freaking pass Stonehenge, which is the worst road known to man. People like staring at rocks. I'm not really a history person, I was pretty good at it at school, weirdly. I think it's because it was so fucking boring. But I don't really see the fascination with some rocks that are stood up in a specific way, but it is what it is. So we have 2 hours and 25 minutes. We're running fashionably late, as always. Typical Plymouthians. But I'll give you a quick taste test of this luxurious bagel. We've also got some pink Himalayan salt in there, some extra couple of grinds as I'm running a lot more carbs today, just to kind of help with, again, those carbs getting uptaken a little bit more so that I fill out my frame ahead of my holding day tomorrow, where I'm going to be doing 300 grams of carbs potentially. We'll see how we're looking when we get back to the hotel, which I'm looking forward to giving you a tour around because it's supposed to be a luxurious Airbnb. See? Just rocks. Nothing to see there, mate. We've made it to Luton, guys, safe and sound. Got through Stonehenge all nice and safe, all through the traffic, all through the stupid stone circle. But I can confirm Luton is a shithole. Anywhere that has a Matalan is a shithole, and you know it is. Well, to be fair, Plymouth has a Matalan, so Plymouth is also a shithole. But going to give you a very quick tour of the luxury Airbnb that we have booked. But firstly, this is the master bedroom. This is where I'll be sleeping, and it's absolutely massive. No idea what was in this little hole here, but we can play hide and seek later on. But we have like the most nattiest mirror for posing for my progress photos, some natty ass light, and the most manliest suitcase known to man. As we head out of the corridor here, we have a spacious cupboard with someone else's dirty laundry. And in here is the toilet. It's like a TARDIS walking in, and then it's massive inside. Got a bathtub, which is pretty sick. I don't know about you, but when it comes to like showers, you have a shower for so long, you miss having a bath. And then when you have a bath, you miss having a shower. Just me, but I absolutely love having baths. So I go back to mum sometimes and I'll have like an hour and a half bathe. We also have another cupboard, which I've not actually been in yet. Another hide and seek spot, which is pretty sick. So we're gonna have some fun this evening playing that and watching some Marvel on Disney Plus, which is going to be pretty sick. And as we then head downstairs, this is the top floor, windy staircase. We have the second bedroom, 2 single beds, and a lovely another cupboard in here. What's in here? More towels, bedding, another hide and seek spot, which is great. And as we come through into the lounge, we have the midget at work cooking. Absolute storm in this little small Hobbit frying pan. Stocked up on all the carbs. This is the carb cupboard here. All of the rice cakes, squares bars, bananas, honey, rice cooker on the go. Got obviously the cream of rice, the best protein powder known to man, the Form Way. Shit ton of cupboards which no one's using. And then we have the absolute G, the man, myth, the legend, Jack Hague, getting ready for his Marvel extravaganza later on this insane TV. Welcome to the MTV crib.